Hi, my name is Gretchen, and I'm a parishioner at St. Thomas Aquinas Catholic Church in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I'm going to share 3 things that I've learned in these first couple of weeks of coronavirus lockdown that I hope will help me get through the rest of the weeks that we have ahead of us as we deal with this pandemic. The first is to keep in mind the big picture, and that is the glory of God and the salvation of souls. What God permits to happen in the world and in the church, even if it's suffering, and especially if it's suffering, is to purify us so that we will turn our hearts back to Him. And we can just imagine how much that is happening right now. We don't hear stories of conversions. We hear stories of illness and death and all the terrible things that people are suffering, but we don't hear about how hearts are turning back to God, how God is saving souls through this, how people are repenting, drawing closer to their families, all of these good things that God is working through this time, or else He wouldn't allow it. We have to focus on those good things that are happening, and just to know that God only acts in mercy and goodness and love, and also in justice, in order to save us and to save our souls for eternity. And that is the most important thing that's happening right now, and that's the most important thing that we can pray for right now amidst all of this. The second thing was to overcome my personal fear of the coronavirus, whether or not I would get it, if it would be a severe illness for me, what would happen to my comfortable way of living right now, if the economy suffers, will I personally suffer through that and the comfortable life that I'm living right now. And frankly, it was a bit embarrassing that I was worried about all of these things. My first statement about the glory of God and the salvation of souls, that wasn't the first thing that my mind went to, of course. With all the negative news, they strum up all the fear and anxiety. My first battle was to overcome my own fear, and looking to the lives of the saints, what they've taught us is to overcome our fear by making a complete self-gift and offering to the Lord in whatever suffering He may bring to us. So I just had to give God permission, so to speak, to allow me to get ill with this. I mean, of course, He doesn't need my permission, but just telling Him that I'm okay with it. Like, if I get sick from this, or if my loved ones get sick from this, or if this affects my standard of living, my way of life, the economy, whatever I was suffering from and being fearful of, just making an offering of that to the Lord and just say, whatever suffering you want me to endure with this, I want to accept that suffering, however severe it may be. Just give me the strength to overcome it, and just help me, to give me the grace that my soul will be in the right place with you, that I'll endure that suffering well. And once I did that, I made that offering, which was scary, and it took a couple of weeks to get to that point where I was brave enough to make that offering. Then after that, I had a peace, and just I wasn't so afraid anymore. And the third thing is to make a resolution to use this time of quarantine well. This time is unprecedented. We've never in our lifetimes, and may never again, see a time like this, where we're kind of under stay-at-home orders for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks. Who knows how long it will be? And at the end of this time, what will I have to show for it? Will I be a better person on the other end? And so I think committing this time to the Lord and asking Him to help me make it fruitful, not necessarily productive, but fruitful, and that I will have grown leaps and bounds during this time, which would not have been possible if I had been just in my regular daily routine. So those are my 3 things that I've learned, and what I want to keep in focus for the rest of our time in quarantine. 1, to keep always in mind the glory of God and salvation of souls. That's what the heart of Jesus is after in permitting this, and this is what we need to be after as well in our prayers. And 2nd, to just make an offering. Lord, whatever you want me to suffer through right now to purify me, I submit myself to that suffering, and I just accept what you have to give me, because I know that it's only your love and your mercy that brings that into my life, and I submit to it. And finally, use the time well. If you're not sick, use it well. If you are sick, use it well. Just pray about how the Lord wants you to use this time fruitfully for His glory, and also for the salvation of souls. So that's all I have to share with you today. Thank you.